Listen up. Another news roundup starting right now with all the updates on the Commanders. Quick, direct, and straightforward information. If you're new, subscribe now and make sure you don't miss anything about the team. Don't forget to leave a like button up so I can continue with the updates. Here's the news. Guys, Tyler Biadas's departure to the LA Chargers for $30 million was a real letdown. He was the 15th best pass blocker in the NFL last year. Currently, the starter is Nick Allegretti. The problem? He only played 260 snaps in 2025, and the numbers weren't good. He's a top-tier backup, a Super Bowl winner, but can he handle 17 games as the owner of the middle of the line? Bleacher Report suggested Ethan Pocic, formerly of the Browns. He's a giant, almost 2 meters tall, and has only allowed 2 sacks in over 800 snaps. But there's a huge catch. He ruptured his Achilles tendon in December. Bringing in a 31-year-old center returning from surgery like that is a huge gamble for a team that wants to compete now. With almost $50 million in salary cap space, Peters isn't standing still. Besides Pocic, there's talk of Tyler Linderbaum if the Ravens don't re-sign him, or even using a high draft pick to secure a young center for the next decade. The goal is clear: build a wall around Jayden Daniels. After last year's injuries, the front office is obsessed with protection. Van Jefferson arrived to strengthen the offense, but without an elite center, time in the pocket will disappear. Guys, my honest opinion, forget about injured veterans. Ethan Pocic is an excellent player, but an Achilles tendon injury for a 145-kilogram player is a complicated situation. I wouldn't sign Pocic unless it was a minimum contract with performance bonuses. The Washington Commanders need to use the draft. We have the 7th overall pick and valuable picks in the following rounds. We need fresh blood, someone who will grow alongside Jayden Daniels. Relying solely on Allegretti is asking for trouble mid-season. Peters, wake up. The offensive line is the #1 priority. Fans, the center market is on fire, and Washington is in the eye of the storm. Do you prefer Pocic's experience, even with the risk of injury? Or do you want to see a rookie drafted to be Daniels' bodyguard? Leave your comment below. Let's change the subject. Everything indicates that Bobby Wagner won't be returning in 2026. At 36, he's still a tackling machine, reaching the historic mark of 2,000 career tackles, but his age weighed on his pass coverage last year. The strong rumor is that he'll go to the Buccaneers to replace the recently retired Levante David. It would be one Hall of Famer replacing another. Wagner brought stability and leadership at a critical moment, but the 2026 Washington Commanders want to be faster and more aggressive. Chenal comes from a winning school, is a 2-time Super Bowl champion, and brings that physical energy that Dan Quinn loves. With the return of Frankie Louvu and the young Jordan Magee, our linebacker group becomes much more dynamic. Chenal is the guy to stop the running game and pressure the QB, something Wagner couldn't do with the same explosiveness. My opinion is straightforward. Eternal gratitude to Bobby Wagner, but the time for a change is now. The verdict? Keeping a 36-year-old player on a high salary just for leadership is a mistake Washington made in the past. Adam Peters is being surgical. Bringing in Leo Chenal, who is 25 and already knows what it's like to win rings, is an absurd physical upgrade for the middle of the defense. With Chenal and Louvu, our defense gains a lateral speed we didn't have. Jayden Daniels will have much more short field to work with if the defense can force punts faster. It's the end of a necessary cycle for us to reach the next level. Bobby Wagner will be missed, but Leo Chenal arrives with blood in his eyes to maintain the tradition of great linebackers in D.C. Do you agree with this exchange of experience for youth, or do you think Wagner was still essential to the locker room? Share your thoughts below this video. Now, to wrap things up for today, the biggest victory of the offseason wasn't a touchdown, it was the arrival of Laremy Tunsil. Daniels took a lot of hits last year. Having Tunsil protecting his back and Samuel Cosmi on the other end gives Washington a level of security it hasn't seen in years. With time in the pocket, Daniels can finally use that elite arm we saw in flag football with Tom Brady. The foundation is solid. The base has been built. Here's where we need to be honest. Terry McLaurin is our star player, but he's over 30. Deebo Samuel brought versatility, but his performance dropped towards the end of the season. 2025 and his future is uncertain. Luke McCaffrey is talented, but he's not yet the single-handed game winner. Names like Makai Lemon or Carnell Tate are being considered as impactful secondary receivers. We need someone young, explosive, and who will force defenses to stop double-teaming Terry. I think we're one explosive player away from becoming the terror of the NFC. Rashad White and Jerome Ford bring stability, but imagine Jaden Daniels alongside a rookie like Jeremiah Love in the backfield. It would be the most athletic and unpredictable offense in the NFL. Dan Quinn is fixing the defense, so Daniels doesn't have to score 40 points a game to win. If the defense stops the opponent and Peters finds that last secret weapon in the draft, the Washington Commanders won't just compete, we'll crush them in 2026. The glass is half full. We have the protection, we have the QB, but we lack that element of surprise to be elite. Do you think the draft should focus on a new wide receiver or a dynamic running back to complete the roster? Leave your opinion in the comments below. Well, Commanders, we've reached the end. Did you like the video? Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. It's very important that we're in this together. Thank you for everything, and let's go, Commanders!